Jezebel, St. Andrew, Jezebel. Welcome back to the St. Andrew's Jezebel Podcast, where we showcase the talents and stories of local artists, small business owners, and regular folks from the St. Andrews community. My name is Ashley Feller, and I'm a third-generation Panama City native. I play music, and I also help people podcast. But enough about me. Today, we are thrilled to have a returning guest, singer-songwriter Kelsey Eiman, back on the show. Kelsey's been making a name for herself in the local music scene with her soulful voice and heartfelt lyrics. In this episode, we'll be talking about Kelsey's growth as a singer-songwriter, her experience working in the local coffee industry, and her love for country music icon Shania Twain. I also need to add that Kelsey performs with her partner, that's Tylor. I asked Kelsey for the interview at short notice, and Tylor happened to be working, so unfortunately we'll be missing Tylor for this episode. But I do want to congratulate them for getting on the lineup of the 30A Songwriters Festival out there in South Walton County. That is a real accomplishment. Congratulations, y'all. I'm very excited and happy for y'all. During our conversation, we also talk about how we hope to see the music scene in St. Andrews continue to grow and evolve. And as always, after the interview, I go over sharing the community events for the week of January 12th through the 8th. So sit back, relax, grab your favorite beer, and enjoy the show. We are here with Kelsey Eiman. She's making a return visit. Welcome back, Kelsey. We wish Tyler were here, but he is brewing beer. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. He's over at history class making sure that everyone has something to drink.
Well, I'm glad you're back here, Kelsey. And how do you like to start your day?
I know that as a writer, I should say that I start my day by sitting down and writing for, 30 minutes to an hour. But I usually just start my day by splashing water on my face and praying that whatever caffeine I've put into my body works quickly. I work at a coffee shop, so I don't really have time to sit and think about how I start my day. I just go.
And I think that's really realistic and honest. And that makes sense because, I've seen folks put up these beautiful, elaborate morning routines on Instagram and different types of social media. It's like, do you really do that every day?
Oh, absolutely not. And if I have a day off and I'm doing a morning routine, I'm starting that at 10 a.m. I'm not up early doing things. It's not realistic.
And you've been in the coffee business for a really long time. And the last time you were here, I think you were still out in Grayton, but now you're at the Little Village.
Yes.
What's that like? What's going on with that?
Oh, it's so much fun. I manage the coffee shop there. So that means that my friends that I hire, like Calliope, another local musician, I get to train her about the other things that I love that aren't music, which is coffee. And, getting to be a part of the community that is the coffee community is very nice because you're seeing people in the mornings when they're still in a good mood. People haven't ruined their day yet. You get to help them have a good mood. So it's a nice little day job, I'd say.
I think so, too. I don't know where I'd be without my coffee. So for us amateur coffee makers out there, what would you say is the number one mistake that people make when they're brewing their own coffee at home?
Oh, people just throw caution to the wind and they're like, let me throw however many scoops of coffee my heart feels like will make a good cup. And I have a notebook with recipes for coffee and I weigh everything out and I'm a psychopath with it. And then Tylor comes in and throws all caution to the wind and is like, dump it in there.
I just think it's so cool that one of you makes coffee and the other one makes beer.
Yeah, we got both of our bases covered.
Exactly. You're both good people to know for both of those things. And so what do you love so far about being more close to where you're based here in town?
I definitely get more me time. I'm not spending an hour in the car driving to work and home from work. I have more time to sit down for myself and write and focus on other things instead of just being in traffic for 2 hours. So that's a plus, I'd say.
I bet it's pretty pleasant over there at Little Village, too. Do you have a lot of space in the coffee truck? Do you have more space, less space?
So we are actually in the bar area now. We're going to be renovating soon. So we will have a full coffee shop just like at the location on the beach. So that'll be fun. Who knows when that will happen because permits and licensing. I have not had coffee today. But yeah, we're going to be renovating and that'll be fun.
Well, that'll be exciting to see. And now that I think of it, I think the last time I was at Little Village, I think I saw the cold brew taps right there next to the beer taps.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a favorite coffee drink that you like to make at the moment?
I like crappy diner coffee. I've worked in specialty coffee for 7 years, and my favorite coffee is lukewarm diner coffee in a mug that you don't know if it's properly cleaned. Like that will always be my favorite coffee.
Awesome. And I've seen your impressive, beautiful photos of your coffee creations. How do you begin learning the latte art, and how long did it take you to get to the level you are with making those designs?
It probably wouldn't have taken me as long if I had someone to teach me that wasn't just YouTube. When I first started teaching myself, I poured things that looked very inappropriate into the cup. So breaking out of that was a fun treat of not, being able to pour things that I could actually serve to people. Yeah, it took me a few years, I'd say.
But I think that's really cool. And if I ever need a lab, like, any inappropriate coffee pictures I can see. It's been a little over a year since you and Tylor were here last. And great episode that was. And I thank y'all so much because that was either right before or right after y'all invited me to come play at Monday Night Little Fest.
It was right before, yeah.
Yeah. And thank y'all again for having me. That was super fun.
Absolutely.
But a lot has happened in that time in between. You've grown a lot as an artist. I've been watching you. You're playing full time at a part of doing the coffee as well. What would you say is your most challenging moment this year as a musician? And what would you say is your most proudest moment as a musician this year?
I'd probably say the most challenging is just like busy season, us having to try to keep up with working a day job and also working like in March. We had, I think, 3 nights off the entire month of March. And that was in addition to like waking up at 5, 6 a.m. for our day jobs. That's probably the most challenging. Neither one of us are night owls. So to be, packing up gear from a gig that we just played at 9:30 instead of going to bed it's a stretch. I'd say our proudest moment is this past weekend, actually. We got invited to play at the Panama City Songwriter Festival, and which is not something that I ever thought that I would be doing, like showing music that I wrote to that many people. But we were able to play it with an artist that came down from Canada who we love. So I'd say our proudest was to be able to like be in a space where we're sharing music that I wrote with a colleague of ours who is somebody that we love and listen to all the time. Like that was very surreal to be in the same setting as him and be like, oh, we're doing the same thing right now. I'm not just a fan.
I love that. What a cool moment for you. And I was kind of hoping that you would say the Panama City Songwriters Festival, because I didn't get to be there. I was playing another Songwriters Festival in Central Florida at the same time, but I got to see your pictures and, your reels and TikToks and such. So how was your overall experience like? Who was the artist that y'all played with, and just how many sets did y'all play? How'd the whole thing go?
So the first night we ended up playing with a woman whose name I can't remember because I'm horrible at names, but she had a song called Salty, which I really enjoyed.
Lauren Spring. So that was Lauren Spring.
Yes, we played with Lauren Spring. And then the second night we played with Melissa Joyner and Scott and Sean, and they are incredible. Both of those duos, or both of those groups of people. But yeah, Scott and Sean have a band that they play, or a few different bands that they play in. And then Melissa Joyner is, if you've never heard her, she's incredible. But it was an honor to share the stage with them. And then we got to see Benjamin Dakota Rogers, who was the guy that we were so hyped up about. It's fun to be able to like listen to his songs and not have to drive to Canada to do so. And also be able to like introduce him to boiled peanuts, because those aren't a thing up there. So it was a fun weekend for sure.
That is really cool. So Benjamin Dakota Rogers, did I get that name right?
Yes.
Did y'all know that y'all were going to be sharing a set before it happened? Or?
So we didn't actually share a set. We just played the same festival, but I knew he was going to be coming because Will told me about it. And I was like, Will, I don't know if you've heard this guy, but I am obsessed with him. He's like, obviously I've heard him. I booked him. But it was, I don't know, it was just the best weekend. And now we have an invitation to go up to Canada and hang out with him, which Shania Twain's from Canada. So I was like, heck yeah, let's go to Canada.
And I know you love Shania Twain, and you do some wonderful Shania Twain covers. How old were you when you got into Shania Twain?
Oh, I was a child. Like, I remember being in the back of my grandfather's pickup truck when he had just purchased the album Up for me. And I just remember like staring at this CD, memorizing every inch of its cover, like listening to the songs until I, probably peeled a layer off the CD. She was my number one growing up.
I've always enjoyed her, and I haven't watched the documentary on her yet.
Oh, it's so good. So good. You're going to cry.
That's part of why I haven't watched it yet.
That's why I waited so long too. I was like, I'm not in a headspace where I can cry right now. Give me a month and then I can watch it. And I watched it. It was fantastic.
Hopefully Netflix will leave it up for quite some time. So for those of us who are avoiding crying before we're ready, can see it. And another one of the things that I like about you, Kelsey, is that you're very into, I think, what is the latest Americana music. A lot of like what is relevant and what's out right now. So
for sure.
What have you been listening to lately that you really like?
Oh, how much time do you have? Benjamin Dakota Rogers is fantastic. There's a girl named Odie Lee. She's fantastic. Bella White, Nick Shoulders, Sierra Farrell, Charlie Crockett. You got Marcus King. There are so many good people who are, I think, bringing back to life a specific style of music that hasn't been appreciated in a very long time. And it's such a good style of music that it's surprising to me that we've waited this long for it to kind of come back and be what you would call mainstream again, I guess.
This is how I perceive it anyway, is it's a combination of preserving and putting their own spin on it.
Oh, yeah.
I've not heard the latest Charlie Crockett record, but I've heard the one before that, and I loved it. I love his records because the backup band is always the best.
They are grooving. Oh, man. Like, Charlie Crockett, especially his latest album, cranked all the way up with the windows down. Like, even if he's not playing in that moment, you're like, this is the best experience I could have because his band is so fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I got to hear it. Absolutely. And another thing I like about y'all is that y'all are, in a collaboration, and you're also not just musical partners, you're together. And do y'all have a process of how you work out the material and which roles each of you do, and just the general logistics of your gigging?
So in terms of like songwriting, I don't know a ton about guitar, not as much as Tylor for sure. So basically I just write a song and I come to him with chords, and then he's like, hey, you can't mix this chord and this chord together in a scale. And then he like fixes my mistakes. So that's handy. I don't do well writing with people as much as I want to because I'm opinionated and I get distracted very easily. So that I typically do on my own. And then I just bring him in and I'm like, help polish this up. That's our dynamic, I'd say.
I love that. Who does the driving?
Typically me, mainly just because we usually take my car because all of our gear is already loaded in there. And I'm not a big drinker. So if he wants to drink a few beers, like we're not getting trashed to gigs because we're professional, but like if he wants to have a beer and we're playing an hour away, I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm not gonna drink so you can drive, or to what? You know what I mean? So I can drive. I'll drive so he can drink. There we go.
I'll drive so you can drink. That's a song there.
That is a song.
Yep.
Hey, I know how I just said I don't like to collaborate, but you want to write a song with me?
It sounds like you're off to a good start.
Beer Town Part 2.
It's a concept album. Now, since this is a show about St. Andrews, it's been growing even in the last year. What are your thoughts on the direction that St. Andrews is taking?
I love it. If it weren't for the overwhelming artistic community that's popping up in St. Andrews, I probably wouldn't be doing this. I think it's nice to have a community of people that like the same things that you like and want to do the same things that you do, just as like motivational encouragement. I think it's nice to be able to have an environment where you're thriving, and you can't just do that if you're the only person that wants to pick up a guitar around you. Like, you're going to be lonesome, you're going to get bored with it. But when you're in a community that is supporting that, I think you want to keep on keeping on.
Absolutely. And I hope you don't mind, but from what I understand, you're vegan, correct?
I am, yes.
Well, I think one of the things that is so cool that you can do with a podcast is help people. So there might be some vegan listeners out there, and they might not know how to navigate St. Andrews. So for those vegans out there who might be looking for something to eat in St. Andrews,
oh yeah,
what kinds of things do you like, and what would you recommend, and where would you get them?
Well, there's Thai basil. You can never go wrong with Asian food because there are usually a lot of vegan and vegetarian options already on their menu. So Asian's always a safe bet. We have Little Village, obviously, which has Finn. So you can get some nice veggie tacos. The amount of times that I've eaten those veggie tacos is insane. And then you have your Slice House, and then you move over, you got your stuff downtown. Oh, also now in St. Andrews, we have Luna Muna. We went there the other day. That was nice. So if you're vegan, you can grab something from there as well.
I played at Luna Muna a few weeks ago, and I thought the very same thing. I was like, this would be a good place.
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic.
I had the rainbow salad, which is huge and delicious.
Ooh.
And it's got hemp seeds and all kinds of just good stuff all over it.
I went with a bagel because that's just who I am as a person. And if there's a bagel on the menu, I will ignore everything else and order a bagel.
I love bagels, and you're good for the day. Awesome. So, Kelsey, how can folks reach you online and beyond? And where are y'all playing throughout the rest of the year?
Ooh, that's a great question. So you can find us online. We have Facebook, Instagram. We have a TikTok now. We have YouTube. Eventually, I'm going to make a website. I might have to hire someone on Fiverr to help me do that, Ashley Feller. And then playing around, we're going to be playing we have some dates at Little Village, at Neat over in Alice Beach. We've signed a contract with them. Places in Tallahassee, just all over.
Well, Kelsey, I really appreciate you being here. And for those of y'all listening, at the time of this recording, it is a Monday. And Kelsey's either getting her tire changed or has had her tire changed.
Oh, yeah.
Is it getting it changed?
It should be done by now. Hopefully, I'll go pick it up after this.
She's in the process of getting her tire changed. She's got a private gig tonight. Y'all go follow Kelsey and Tylor on socials and go see them when they're performing live. They're fantastic. Kelsey has one of the most beautiful voices you'll ever hear. And until next time, thank you, Kelsey, and keep St. Andrews salty.
Thank you.
One of the best things about St. Andrews is that you can see live music every day. That's right. There is live music being played somewhere in St. Andrews 7 nights a week. Fortunately, my friend Ken Schaefer creates and publishes a weekly schedule for St. Andrews as well as most of Bay County. Ken's spreadsheet schedule is updated often when there's any changes. Ken also shares individual music events and is walking the walk and talking the talk when it comes to supporting live music. Not only does Ken supply the music schedules, but he attends several music performances a week and takes fantastic photos of the musicians. As a working musician myself, I feel blessed to have Ken and his wife Donna as treasured members of our local musical family. Make sure you like and follow Ken's page, Salty Sounds in St. Andrews, and Oh Boy Music on Facebook, so that you'll always know where all the live music will happen. Thank you so much, Ken, for everything you do. And now for some community events for the week of January 12th through 18th. Okay, y'all, so I put together a list of things to do, whether that's if you live in St. Andrews and you want to spend some time there, or if you're just visiting. So let's start on Thursday, January the 12th. Starting out Thursday night, my friend Scott Wetter is performing at Burgun Barrell right there on Beck Avenue at 6 p.m. If you like Dire Straits, if you like John Hartford, if you like Tom Waits, if you love anything that's bluesy, a little bit eclectic, maybe with a hint of jazz, then you will probably like Scott Wetter. Over there at Burgun Barrell, they've got great food. They definitely have a menu that'll appeal to the foodies out there, and they have great wine. It's just a great atmosphere all the way around. And on Friday, Flip Frenzy Pinball Tournament hosted by Panama City Pinball from 4:30 to 7:30. This is with the IFPA Tournament and Stern Army event. There's a $10 entry fee to earn WPPR points, raffle, and door prizes. The warm-up is from 4:30 to 5:30. The tourney is from 5:30 to 7:30. And the last games will start before 7:20 p.m. The games will be set to tournament mode, decreased ball save timers, and no extra balls. Tournament style will be Flip Frenzy via Match Play events, and you can sign up at Match Play events to track the tourney progress from your phone. The games will be Guardians of the Galaxy, Godzilla, Jurassic Park, Deadpool, and one surprise game. That sounds like so much fun. After the pinball tournament, why don't you have dinner from the food truck at Taproom and enjoy some live music in their courtyard? For your Saturday morning, if you are an early bird, then I suggest you go to the market at St. Andrews. This is at the Oaks by the Bay Park, down there at the end of Beck Avenue. It's a beautiful park to just take a walk in, walk on down by the water, and enjoy the beauty of St. Andrews Bay. There's all kinds of different merchants at the market in the morning. There's baked goods and produce, and there's live music at the Taproom right across the street. Don't miss it. If you slept in Saturday morning, don't miss Woods the Band at the Little Village at 6 p.m. They are a family band. It's a father and his 2 daughters, and they've usually got some other folks in tow that play with them. They have some of the most beautiful harmonies I have ever heard. You cannot beat family harmony, and they're also great singer-songwriters, so don't miss that. Sunday is Sunday Fun Day in St. Andrews, so I suggest you go have brunch at either Alice's or Burgun Barrell. Both places have great menu items, great atmospheres, and fantastic service. And here we are at Monday. When you get off work on Monday and you don't want to go home, go on by the Taproom for a beer and live music with Monday Night Little Fest. This is a weekly showcase hosted by a different musician each week, so you really never know what you're going to see until you get there. There's all different styles, and there's always a huge variety of music to hear, and it's a great atmosphere for you to sit with your friends, drink a delicious beer, get some takeout from one of the St. Andrews restaurants, and decompress from that manic Monday. Then on Tuesday, there's the acoustic version of Sons of Saints at Little Village at 6 p.m. I'm only going to assume that Mason St. Germain, one of our past guests, is involved in this since he is the lead singer of Sons of Saints. And maybe he's got Drew playing with him. I'm assuming that's what that duo is. And either way, they are going to be fantastic. So get yourself some tacos. Maybe get yourself some of the tuna dip. That's really good from Little Village. Get yourself a nice beer. Maybe do some shopping and relax on your Tuesday night with the Sons of Saints acoustic duo. Closing out your week on Wednesday is the Tapped Out Comedy Open Mic at the Taproom, hosted by Panama City Comedy's Janet Fortune. This is an open mic that's open to all skill levels, and I believe the sign-up is at 7:30. That's all the community events I've got for this week. Tune in next week for more. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the St. Andrews Jezebel Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with the talented singer-songwriter Kelsey Eiman, and your support means a lot to me, and it helps us continue to grow and share the stories and talents of the community. If you enjoyed the episode, I'd greatly appreciate if you left me a review on your preferred platform. It helps others discover the show and helps us continue to improve. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on social media to stay up to date on upcoming events, new episodes, and more. And until next time, keep St. Andrews salty.